I just had nothing.
Okay.
At least with my iPhone, I know that they're on top of that.
So what can you tell us about the Chancellor?
The Chancellor Jaha making some very. I just discovered a wonderful analogy. I look at this character pretty much going through what President Obama is going through. Is that no matter what you do, it's going to be disliked and it's going to be wrong. Someone's going to be upset. No matter what you do, no matter how good, right or wrong, it's going to be polarized. Just because he is who he is. And that's pretty much how I feel about Chancellor Jaha. There's dynamics that may be more personal, maybe more intrinsic than extrinsic. And then there are dynamics that are going to be challenging for my character simply because, have you seen it, the pilot?
Yes.
Okay. Well, there's an assassination attempt.
Oh yeah, you're in jeopardy right now.
I was a little worried about breaking it out of
I right off the bat, I appreciate the genius of that with Jason is because, like the book Team of Rivals and Abraham Lincoln, is that I already know there's treachery all around me. So I want to find out what that's going to look like in my eyelids, my lips, my nose, my face, my hand. What is that going to look like before a camera, knowing that there's an attempt on my life and there's someone on the ship that okayed it, and it wasn't me. But having said that, I need every single person on that ship to be on the same page in spite of that. And how I can use my charisma or my intellect to win that dynamic over. It should be very challenging.
If I remember correctly, you were pretty involved in the two previous campaigns. How has that experience translated into you going this role?
It's a very clever question. Yes. I've had my expectations of Yes We Can. I've had my hopes up, and I've been disappointed like every other American. But at the same time, I have to sit back and look at the position, look at the history of this country, and just be, really realistic about the history of this country. And really, I don't think anyone in the 44 presidents of the United States have been more interested in the president on spiritually, intellectually, physically, financially, ever about the. I think more people know more about the president of the United States than they probably ever had in the history of presidencies. And which, on one hand, that says a lot historically. Now, because we're in it and we're feeling it, we don't really know what that means because we're living in that time. Like, it took Abraham Lincoln, took hundreds and hundreds of years for us to really appreciate Abraham Lincoln and understand that, well, what did he do it for the slaves or did he do it for the money? I mean, there were debates, obviously, that are still ongoing today because it's extremely transformative. You could go through that with Ronald Reagan or Bill Clinton. Everyone has their issues, even Carter. And that goes back to this kind of character again, is that, but ultimately, you have a human being put in power that has to make the decisions for all these other anonymous human beings. Says who? Based on what? And when you talk about democracy, a democracy, how does that work? If it's a democracy, then that means I'm really not in power because I'm giving everyone a decision-making process. So how am I ever really going to get anything done if I don't dictate it now? Now, put this on the ark with 4,000 brilliant minds that are ready to go back and procreate and repopulate all of humankind. How's the world going to look based on the decisions that my characters make? the heck with Obama's job, man. You know what I mean? And I've already been shot.
So do you
Talk about finding home, Shanti, forgiveness. Like, well, I take it.
So do you call them up and say, your job ain't nothing compared to what
I might, let's get to the first. Let's see what the people say about the first 13 episodes, and then maybe, hopefully, I get a call from him. My job, if I do it right, I'll get a call from him and says, "Man, your job is tougher than mine."
How much do you know about your character's backstory and how he became?
I just got it on the bus today.
So obviously you're a master at it by now, right? You just read it on the way over.
No, it was just fed to me verbally.
So what can you tell us?
I can't. I'm not really sure I'm in line with the background, but I'm okay.
Well, maybe you could talk
It
about
just makes things. It will enrich and enlarge my performance based on the information that Jason just revealed to me, because it shows who that person is. He is former military. I can give you that.
So he's different than what you thought he was after the pilot.
I trust Jason Rothenberg so implicitly with his vision, and that I didn't care. I just trusted his writing. When I read that speech, that you didn't really get the full speech because it's broken up in the monitor on the pilot. But to be able to address humanity, what it is to be a father, which he is, what it means to be a leader, which he is, be a creator, which he is, and put it on paper and find the words that actually resonate, that sound differently, or these platitudes or new platitudes. He has a voice, man, and I know what that looks like. I've been there with a person who's in a position like he was. No one knew who she was. No one knew who this show was or what it was about, but I knew and believed in her voice, and the rest is history.
In the piggyback
I
off
feel
of
that way about Jason.
In the piggyback off of that, you have a pretty good track record with picking TV projects.
I'm a picky bitch. People say, "Oh, I'm difficult." No, I'm picky. Where's he been? I'm just picky. I've always been that way.
But what?
Because I love what I do, and I really believe that, if I'm asking for you guys to watch me for 42 minutes, or if I dare now, after the recession, ask you to come out and watch something that I'm doing for 95 minutes or 85 minutes and now pay almost $15, it is important to me as an artist to make sure, and I've made some missteps in some movies like Hood Rats that are out there, but I'm someone asked me what my biggest fear was. My biggest fear is not being believable by you. That's my biggest fear. If you don't believe, if I don't suspend your belief, then that means I haven't done my job. That means I've wasted your time. And that's why I try to, I'm very patient. I'll wait.
So then what do you look at?
I don't. That's the key. I don't look. I stopped looking in this town or that town. I let it find me. And like I said, I had this before. I had this thing for 3 weeks, and I refused to read it because it was TV, and I didn't know anything about the CW network. But now, when I read, I just happen to be put in these wonderful transformative opportunities that I get to play. And as God, I call God and Warner Brothers, Peter Ross says, they call it a teleplay.